Okay, let's talk about websites. You may want to grab a cup of coffee first. As I said when we started this is not a sales video. This is an education video. It's designed to help you get better. So look, I've got my 1-gallon cup of coffee cup. Why don't you go out and see if you've got one that's bigger than mine. But let me start off by giving you some suggestions on websites that when you hear them here, they're going to sound like common sense. But I bet when you go and look at your website, all your friends' websites, all your competition's websites, nobody did them. It's just shocking how simple this is. And yet, how 99% of companies build websites that miss it. The first one is obviously your phone number. It's amazing how many websites where the phone number is not the top, especially on a cell phone. I mean, phone numbers on websites, that's the first thing that the people want to know. What's your phone number? Why would you bury that on the contact page or down in the text or make it small? You know, if people can't find your phone number, they'll leave your website and go to somebody else's, you know? Maybe a friend or somebody that knows you might dig for it, but somebody just did a Google search, they have no reason to be loyal to you. Now, let's talk a second about the phone number clicking. On a cell phone, you need to go to your website and click on the phone number and make sure it dials. It's amazing, but many websites, they didn't put a little piece of code in there that makes the phone number clickable. So the phone number's there, but if you click it, nothing happens. So imagine, you spend a lot of money on Google Ads or SEO or advertising to get people to your website, but they go to dial your phone by clicking and nothing happens. Most people sitting there with an iPhone in their hand do not have a pencil or paper, to write it down with. Very, very, very simple thing to check. So let's say that you've got your phone number at the top of your website and it's clickable. Well, the next thing is what are your phone hours? For example, let's say you're a junk company. People clicking your ads 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, they're clicking them on the weekend. Right, you paid $10, $20, $30 for that click, whatever the cost is. But the question is, you paid for the click, are the people going to call you? At 7 o'clock on Saturday night, are most people going to go ahead and click that, or are they afraid you might be out at dinner? People are shy, maybe even timid. I know I am. I walk into a restaurant, the sign outside says they're open till 10. However, it's 9 o'clock, but when I walk inside, there's no people, just some employees in the back. I don't just walk in and sit down. I say, I'm sorry, are you open? The reality is, people are shy. They don't want to intrude. They don't want to be rude. So if your hours don't point out when you're going to answer that phone, a lot of people won't call you. So, okay, it's 7 o'clock, Saturday night, you paid for the click. They decide to be nice, they're going to call you tomorrow. If they do a Google search and click your ad to get your phone number the next day, you paid for a second click. You doubled your cost to get that customer. Then again, maybe they do a Google search and they find somebody else, in which case your first click was wasted. So it literally is, if you just take your business hours and the days you work and put them right next to your phone number at the top of the website, you'll increase your sales. You've got your website set up, you've got your phone number at the top, you made sure it was clickable, and you've got your hours. And that applies to other businesses too, like real estate agents. Some real estate agents only work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, other ones work all weekend. So there's a lot of things to consider, but those are so simple and so basic. Let's go into one more, your service area. It amazes me how many websites I go to and they'll say, blah, blah, blah is headquartered in such and such a city. Well, that's great, but I don't live in that city. I live in the city next to it. Now I'm sitting here with a question. Do they come to my area or not? Well, I'm shy. And a lot of people are shy. Reality is, I'm afraid to call and ask a dumb question. So I don't see my city on your list of cities, I leave the website. Now this is a really important point here. 90% of people do not scroll down. 50% of people are not going to click and go to another page. So maybe you have a button at the top that says areas we serve. 50% of the people are not going to take the time to look there. If you put the cities you serve down below the bottom of their screen, most of them aren't going to see it. This information needs to be on your home page where they can see it without any scrolling. Next item, services you offer. I've been really shocked to go into so many thousands of websites over the year and not see them actually list the services they offer. Let me go back to a junk removal as an example. I go into these junk websites and they say, we're the best junk guys in town. Well, that sounds great. If I want to get one couch, one sofa for a small load, I know they'll do it. But, what if I'm a little old lady and I've got, an entire estate to clean out? Maybe a $10,000 worth of hauling furniture out of there. Maybe you can even sell it, so now it's a $15,000 job. She goes to my website and says, well, I'm the best junk guy in town, but it doesn't say I do estate cleanouts. I just lost $15,000, not to mention the $10, $20, $30 I paid for the click. Or it doesn't say I do commercial cleanouts. A lot of junk companies, for example, will tear down a fence and pull the concrete out of the ground. But if they don't mention that on there, people have clicked your ad, they went to your website, they didn't scroll, they didn't go to another page, they leave and they go to another junk company's website. So the reality is, you're just throwing money in the toilet if you don't list your services on the homepage. So let's say that you've gone in and worked on the homepage of your website. Your phone number is now at the top, it's big, it's clickable. Another thing that's important is to make sure it doesn't go down into some kind of a fold-down menu on your cell phone. It needs to be visible and clickable on the cell phone too. You've got your hours there, you've got your services, you've got your service area. That's great. What happens if your website takes too long to open? For example, somebody went out and did a search, saw your ad and they clicked it, but your website takes 10 seconds to open. Would you wait 10 seconds for a website to open? I wouldn't. You could have people clicking your ad and you pay for the click with Google. You don't pay for the visit, you pay for the click. So if they click your ad and your website's too slow to open, you just threw money in the toilet. So one of the things you can do, and you can go to our website and do this, is there's a tool, from Google that will test the speed of your homepage. In the first example, it's a website we built for a client, and on mobile, it takes 1.4 seconds to do what they call as the first content paint. That simply means that something appears on the page. The website isn't complete yet, but it's starting, okay? And to get everything on there is 4.8 seconds, but the reality is most people, their eyes are paying attention to that first item loading. So this one is 1.4 seconds. Now, let's compare another website that was done by another company, and you go in there and look at it, it's the first contentful paint is 4 seconds. Would you wait 4 seconds for that to open? When it says the largest contentful paint, it's 28.9 seconds. You imagine a website page taking 28 seconds to fully open. So you want to go through, you want to go to our website and just click on the link for the Google speed test and test your homepage. The reality is on desktops, we recommend a second or less. On mobile, 2.5 seconds or less for the first content. One other thing to mention really quick too, you may think your website's fast. If you've been to your website before, you didn't go to the website came to you. There is now a copy of the website stored on your computer or your phone. So you're thinking it's extremely fast. What I've been talking about in this example is a first-time visitor, somebody who doesn't have a copy in there. So I've seen businesses lose over 50% of their sales simply because the homepage or the landing page was too slow.